Hey everybody, welcome to Snow Talk. Brian Good here on this lovely day after Christmas. And boy, it's cold. I mean, snow aside, I think it's just the cold that's hard to get used to. I'm not a cold weather fan. I know that seems ironic or silly, considering I love snow. How can you not love cold if you like snow? If only I could get snow at 80 degrees, I'd be really, really happy. But cold and dry, especially, that is just miserable. But anyway, I digress. I'm sure a lot of you are cold right now, and it's only going to get colder, guys, as we head down the road here. Today, it's cold weather and some snow, and I do mean to stress some on the snow part because we don't have a lot. First off, on the snow chart, at the bottom there, you see to the date, of course, 2/10 of an inch of snow fell Christmas Eve. Should be at 2.1. We're running behind. No surprise. But at least we're still ahead of last year. Snow flurries breaking out to the west. We've already had a first batch in our southern counties this morning. That's out of here. Our second wave is now waiting for us back here to the west, and it's going to battle some dry air as it moves on in, but still they can hold on enough along and north here is 64 to provide some flurries, maybe a snow shower mixed in with some of that that could cause the rooftops and cars and the deck, everything go white again. For those of you that have snow on the ground, you'll just add a little fresh coat to it. For the rest of us that don't have anything on the ground, then this is going to add just a little dusting. And of course, the concern is going to be then slick spots, so just be careful traveling as it breezes on by. This is going to be a late afternoon through about midnight. This is the time period that we will have to deal with this moisture belt moving into the area. Then we get ready for some cold air. Here's some of the high-res models. It shows a streak of snow again later this afternoon. It tries to take it north of 64, fades it out. Overnight gets really cold tonight. Lower teens here in the city, single digits away from the city limits. Then we try to warm up tomorrow, but it's going to be a cold day tomorrow. A lot of you will not get out of teens, in fact. And we have another snow chance later this week that tries to clip us. I'll show you on a different model version in a second toward the end of the week, but I'm not too impressed on that one at all. Let me back up because we're going to clear out once we get rid of this little batch of snow tonight. And when we do, these are the potential wind chills for tomorrow morning when you head outside. I know school's out and a lot of you are on your company breaks for the holiday, but if you have to get out early tomorrow, be prepared for that wind chill. And the thing is, the wind chill is not going to improve much through the entire day. We should stay in the single digit for wind chills all day long. And some of you may hover close to zero. So it is going to be a really tough day tomorrow just to be out and about at all. My advice is, if you need to go out and get some sales or you need to return things, I would either do it today or wait until Thursday or Friday, because tomorrow is a day you don't want to be out. You're going to be close to a fireplace or blankets and just stay warm. That's my advice. It's up to you if you want to listen to it or not. All right, then we get into the setup for the weekend and beyond, which still some questions here if we were watching the blog yesterday. First little batch of snow Friday into Saturday. It looks to be north of us. Again, I'm keeping the chance relatively small, about 10% for now. This is going to be a big ordeal. In fact, the Euro tries to somewhat phase it Friday night into Saturday. Not sold on it yet. So again, we're not taking the chance out completely, but right now I don't think it's huge. The thing is, the one that comes in more New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, the Euro just doesn't see it. Its timing is way off on that piece. Really, the Saturday piece is sort of the piece that comes in. Technically, it's supposed to come in Sunday night into Monday, New Year's Eve night, but it keeps everything either way to the south or way to the north. So it's not impressed, and then there's another wave here on the 4th that tries to catch a ride with a snow chance. Now let me show you the GFS, which has been fairly consistent. Doesn't necessarily mean it's right. It just means it's consistent. And it's showing some snow showers to the north of us for the Friday wave and to Friday night. But then here comes the main one that digs just to our west for New Year's Eve day with some snow. Then another wave rides along it with some very cold air. These are high snow ratios too by the point we get into Christmas Eve. So you're going to get a lot of bang for its buck kind of deal on amounts. Still, I think if I were to take this verbatim, we're talking about a high-end advisory, maybe winter storm warning type of look here, but more than likely a high-end advisory because it looks like a snowstorm and craziness, but really is there's not a lot of moisture with it, but there is some that I think some accumulated snow is possible if the GFS verifies. And look at that shade of blue. That's that snow. That is the cold Arctic air that just got a hold of us. And it doesn't even see the system on the 4th. The GFS doesn't. So they're both completely different camps on timing issues and which one looks more impressive when other systems that don't. I mean, it's kind of a mess right now. When you look at the ensembles from GFS for this weekend, notice That one's got it. That one's got it. That one's got it. That one's slow, but has it. That one's slow, but has it. That one's got it. That one's split, similar to the Euro look. That one has it. Iffy. Slow, but coming. Nothing. More south. Weak, but south. Weak. Weak. That one's got it. Weak. Weak. Sort of has it. And then slow on its way. So GFS ensembles have several ensembles that indicate that something potentially could be arriving here for New Year's Eve day. Okay? Now you look at the Euro ensembles. Now they only show snow amounts on this one. There's like, I think there was one, yeah, just that one is the only one that looked somewhat interesting. The rest do not. So, I mean, this is sort of there. But you can see that they're in two different camps here still, starkly different. But the ensembles, you know, also show some argument for both of them. And the issue is the system itself that is going to allow for the energy to move on shore that is going to impact this system and how much of a digging there will be Sunday into New Year's Day is out here in the Pacific. And it's going to keep rotating around until it gets on shore. And that's going to take until Friday to get it into the upper air network, and then it'll zip on by with the jet and dig into our area. So we've got a few days, guys. So the models are going to play this guessing game. They'll be back and forth using the ensembles, and then on Friday we should see some better alignment one way or the other. So don't get too excited or disappointed. Just to let you know that this is where we stand on this whole thing. Now, having said all of that, let me show you an example of what would happen if the Euro's right and we don't get much snow. This is what we're looking at: upper mid-30s, maybe upper 30s Friday, falling temperatures in the lower teens Saturday, Sunday morning, 5 above. So even without a decent snow coming in, it's still indicating some very cold air. And then we get into even New Year's, or the day after New Year's, the Tuesday, temperature still in single digits. You can definitely hear where the snowpack is, though, below zero there to the north. But very cold, again, without a decent snow. That's what the Euro has. GFS has this in the 20s on Friday instead of 30s, and then skips in the 20s on Saturday into Sunday until we get that wave, because it's going to be digging a little more west, so it takes a little while for that cold air to rush in. But when it does, it does. New Year's morning, 5 below zero, 10 below in Evansville. These are not wind chills. Daytime highs, maybe 10 or 11 above. Lows again, 6 below zero, 11 below to the north. Very, very cold, which would, as I mentioned on some of these records on the actual blog itself, it would rival some of the records there if the GFS idea is right, because it lays down a snowpack. And the snowpack can drastically change your daytime highs and certainly your daytime low or your nighttime lows. And that's why we not only have the snow issue to track, but we could have some, you know, dangerously cold weather moving into the area, some cold wind chills, especially to battle. So we'll see how this plays out, guys. But I still think the headline's more the cold than the snow. But snow is always fun to track, and I just wish I had more answers for you, but I don't. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe.